thanks very much, Steph. It's great to be here with you. It's great to have you as part of our team, our Liberal National team, as we go forward into next year's election. And I want to commend you for the great work you've done before you've even stepped forward to be part of our team, particularly here in Corangamite, but especially your work as a mayor. You're someone who gets things done. That's what I was so impressed about when you stepped forward. My team are people who get things done. And whether it is here or anywhere else around the country, and they're demonstrating that week in, week out, working incredibly hard for their local communities, which I know you will see this as a great opportunity to continue that work that you've been doing for so long now already in the local community. It's also great to be here with Michael Surker and Sarah Henderson, but it's particularly good to be here with those who are owning their first home. This is so exciting, so exciting. You know, at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. This is why people work hard. This is why people go and get trained. This is why people start businesses. This is people forming families and communities. And at the end of the day, the crowning achievement of that is being able to go and buy your own home. And under the initiatives that we have introduced as a government, in particular since the last election was elected, we said this was a big issue. It's always hard to buy your first home, and it's still hard to buy your first home. Everybody understands that. But what we have done as a government has been able to make that more achievable for more and more Australians. Since the last election, we have put over 300,000 Australians into a home. 300,000. It's an extraordinary achievement. What we've done is we've taken first home owners each year, when I made that commitment before the last election, from just under 100,000 a year, and to this year, we're now at 177,000 a year. That is the result of having the right mix of policies that are dealing with the challenges that people trying to get into a home are facing. We learnt today that one of those who was doing the first home loan deposit scheme, it was first announced, the home guarantee scheme, saved 7 years on when they'd be able to buy their first home. That is extraordinary. If you now had to save an extra 7 years to get in your first home, our scheme ensured they could do it right now. And that's happening as we speak. And we have Matt and Bonnie who are going through the Home Builder program. This is a program that has saved the residential construction industry. As we stood there several years ago and we announced this scheme, it was bucketed by Labor, but we said, no, this is the right thing to do. The residential construction industry was looking at going off the edge of a cliff. And we said, we're going to commit to this. And we've seen tens of thousands of Australians taking this up. We've seen $30 billion worth of residential construction activity flow from these commitments. The average time that we've been able to save people on our first home loan deposit scheme, now known as the Home Guarantee Scheme, is 4 years. That's 4 years of saving they didn't have to do. That's 4 years of price increases they would have had to pay for that would have gone on top of their mortgage. And this is an extraordinary outcome. This is one of the most important objectives of our government. We want to see people get in their homes. We want to see people get into jobs. We want to see people ensure that they can get the training they need. Right now, we've got 217,000 Australians in trade apprentice training in this country. That's the highest level since records began in 1963. And so we're not just building homes here. We're building an industry with a workforce, with the skills that we've seen on display here and on sites like this all around the country. It is tremendously exciting about what we can see ahead going into 2022. As people get into their homes, as people get back into jobs, as people see their businesses opening and flourishing again. And that's why it's great news today that both in Queensland and the Northern Territory, they've gone past the 80% double-dose vaccination rate. Well done, Queensland. Well done, Northern Territory. It's a terrific result, and we look forward to that continuing on, because it's very important now that people continue to go and get their boosters. And I want to encourage people to do that. I've had my booster. Well over 600,000 Australians have already had their boosters. And we want to keep encouraging people to go and get your boosters, because that means we are opening safely, and that means we stay open. We're not going back. We're only going forward. We're looking out the front windscreen into 2022. We're not looking in the rear vision mirror. Now I'm going to ask Michael Sukkar to take us through some of the more specific elements of what we're doing today in extending out the home guarantee scheme, which has been so critical to helping people get into their first home sooner. Michael.